Yeah, hello, welcome to this video where I want to discuss the first 10 revealed cards of the new expansion Whispers of the Old God. So yeah, I'm doing this for the first time and I hope I'm really not doing so bad and I won't be proven so wrong in the future. But even when, also, yeah, professional Hearthstone player did quite wrong in the past, so I don't think I will do so much worse. Yeah, but of course it's difficult to assess the quality of the cards, especially in the new standard format, since TGT will cycle out, and also there are a lot of new cards which are not revealed yet, so it's really hard to yeah, really see the full potential since not all the synergies are clear yet. Anyway, so we just tried and started. Yeah, but since I can be wrong, just keep an open mind about it and make your own thoughts. So we start with Stand Against Darkness. It's a 5-mana paladin card, summons 5/1/1 Silverhand recruits. And for constructed, I must say I'm not a huge fan of this card. It's a little bit similar to yeah, Master for Battle, which is actually a really good card in early game. But those early in the game, those 3 little dudes you get, I think are more valuable than the 5 pieces later. And you get a weapon equipped, so which makes it really strong. So when you play this and your opponent has an AoE, you usually needs to spend the whole mana to do this AoE. With cards Stand Against Darkness, you play this way later in the game, and yeah, so it's really easy to remove if you have any kind of AoE. And yeah, just from the stats, it's 5/5. It's also it's okay, but yeah, those dudes are really vulnerable. And if your opponent doesn't have an AoE, it might be good for you to play buffs or make efficient traders. So, but apart from that, I don't think it's such a really good card. Also, good cards like Quartermaster won't be available in standard anymore. So you cannot play Coin Stand Against Darkness next turn. Quartermaster, it's not possible in standard anymore. So in Arena it's a little bit different. 5/5 for 5 mana is okay. Your opponent doesn't have so many AoE possibilities. And you still have a lot of buff cards, so I think it's a good card in Arena. So the next one is a really interesting one. It's Eater of Secrets. Yeah, most people immediately have in mind that this is the ultimate counter for Secret Paladin, and it's really strong. It's a nightmare for Secret Paladin. So, but apart from Secret Paladin, how good is this card? So 2/4 stats is not good for 4 mana. But if you can destroy a secret, you gain 1/1, which is 3/5. It's as much as Sentient Shieldmaster has, or this the dragon, which gets +1/+1 for each spell you use on him. So it has decent stats with 3/5, and it has the ability to destroy a secret, which I think it's a strong one, especially if you play against Mage, which where the streaks are really expensive, and it has the potential to grow. So in case, yes, so if you play Mage or Hunter, you usually maybe destroy one secret, but if you really play against the Secret Paladin, you have the chance to destroy a lot, and then this one can, yeah, grow really big. It could become a 7/9, and at the same time you destroy 5 secrets, which is really huge. So this card alone will yeah, will make Secret Paladin much weaker. But I don't think it's an auto include. So if Secret Paladin, not only because of this card, also because Avenger is not available anymore in secret in standard. If this is still a good deck, it really depends what other cards we will see. So if this vanish, and maybe because of this card, then this card is only good against mages and hunters, and then I actually prefer the Casa Music, where you get the secret at the same, you steal it, so this has more value. But since Kazan Music cycles out, this might be a really good card. But this is only a tech card like Kazan Music, I would say, because in so many other matchups, as a 2/4 for 4 mana, it's really not good, and this is really good in a secret heavy meta. And if Secret Paladin will be a thing. Maybe it will be like this, that Eater of Secret becomes popular, everyone stops playing Secret Paladin, then nobody plays Eater of Secrets anymore, then everyone plays Secret Paladins. It's like this I don't know, this hunter-prey system. Anyway, so conclusion, in Constructed, good tech card. In Arena, this card is not so good, just because not so many, you face a lot of classes who don't run any secrets, and if you have faced those classes, it's not sure that they have secrets, and when they have secrets, they really need to have it when you have this card. So most of the time it's just a 4/2, a 2/4 for 4 mana, and this is just not good in Arena. So the next card is Corrupted Healbot. It's the Astral says restore 5 health to the enemy hero, and you get 6/6 stats for 5 mana, which is 1 more attack than the Pit Fighter. So for 1 attack, such a huge disadvantage, I'm not so sure if this pays off. The ability reminds a lot to Samicho, but you cannot really compare it, because Samicho has a really strong stat for 1-drop, and the Death Rattle is not so not so bad for you, because first of all it just restores 5 health, and if you play Samicho early in the game, oftentimes if you use the Samicho to trade and just to gain board control early on, your opponent even have still 30 life health, so he won't get healed at all. If you play this guy on turn 5, on the other hand, it can happen that your opponent lost already some health, and then he will be really happy to see the 8 health. So even though these stats are a little bit better than the normal vanilla cards, it is not a card you want to play if you want to play aggressive or maybe mid-range, because you give your opponent, in the case that you can kill it, the ability to survive a little longer and to stabilize. And so this will play, if it sees play, then in control decks, where you don't care so much as your opponent gets a healer. So some people think it's had good synergies with Arcanized Soul Priest. That's true, but I think it is not a synergy which should be considered too strong, because different than with the zombie chose, where you can use Circle of Healing and kill it immediately. This is harder to set up, and it's a huge difference if you heal for 8 or if you deal 8 damage. Yeah, so it's hard to say if it's really how good it is for control decks. I'm a little bit skeptical if this card is so good. For Arena, it is a little bit the same. If you want to play aggressive, want to kill him quite early, your opponent, this is not a good card, because in the case he gets the heals, he gets the time to stabilize. On the other hand, if you want to play more for value and control the board, which is I think nowadays a little bit more difficult, then this is a good card. If I would have the chance in Arena to pick this card or the Pit Fighter, I would take the Pit Fighter, because the 1 extra damage is for me not worth the 8 health. So this one, Validated Doomsayer, is an interesting one. You start with the 0-7, and at the start of your turn the attack is set to 7, and this costs 5 mana. So 7/7 for 5 mana, it's really good, but it has a huge drawback that for 1 turn it is yeah, defenseless. Your opponent can attack it without losing minions, without need to trade. And how to say, the thing is, if your opponent is able to kill it, then you simply lost the whole turn. Only thing is you saved 7 damage, which you didn't get in your face, but you lose the whole turn where you couldn't develop your board any further. And this is really bad. So you need to see that you're somewhere ahead on the board when you play this guy. So maybe if you play tempo guys where you control the board early on, or you need to play him when you have a lot of taunts up. Yeah, because it's really risky, and it's super weak to Shadal Kettle Priest. So if you play against Priest, watch out and never play him. Wait, if you play him at, yeah, you need to coin in out on turn 4, so you make sure that it cannot be stolen by the Cabal Shadow Priest. So against Priest, this is more or less a dead card. Yeah, so hard to say how good it is constructed. I think you really need to adjust your deck really to make this deck to make this card good. In Arena, I would say this is not a good card. Might be good also in fast decks where you control the board early on. But if you don't control the board, or your opponent has something on the board and is able to deal some damage, you really have to be careful. If you have, if you can kill it for free, you lose a whole turn, and in Arena this means you're most likely dead. You will lose this game, and especially if you thrive for high wins, you don't want to take the risk playing a minion which in 50% of the chances is losing your game just to have a small advantage of having higher stats than Pit Fighter would give you. So in Arena, in my opinion, it's not so good card. Giant Sandworm. This is a card I really like. It's really interesting. So it says if this minion attacks another minion and kills it, it can attack again, which is really huge. With 8 stats, it's most likely to kill everything on the board, and at the same time, it's really likely that it survives it. So it's like more or less Wind Fury. If your opponent has something on the board. So let's say in most of the cases this has Wind Fury. So if you play something, you can attack it, kill it, and deal 8 additional damage to face, or even kill another minion. So it trades for 2. So it's huge value. If this can stay on the board and you can start to use it, and this is a problem in Constructed, and it's really high cost and it has no immediate effect. And right now, or when the meter is quite fast, minions should have effect, especially if they are so expensive, because otherwise they are not doing anything. He might does things to go face, and in that turn where you place it, he deals 6-7 damage to your face, and then you're close to lethal. Okay, on the other hand, next turn, if he trades for 2, it's a good way to have a comeback. But it's still slow, and Hunter is not the class known for a lot of good control decks. So usually it's aggro deck, mid-range, hybrid, so it's really for those decks it's way too expensive. So it's it depending how viable control Hunter decks will become. If it becomes viable, then this is a really strong card. And that is also the reason why it's really good in Arena, this card. Even though also with Hunter you usually, or you often play a little bit aggressive, since with your hero power you have the reach and you cannot control the board. Yeah, but still he always includes some big threats, and if you can put this on the board, this is so huge because it's not so easy to remove such such big threats so easily in Arena. So he needs to kill it, or needs to go face or so, and then and next turn you get a lot of value with the giant sandworm. Just think about it, that Waller Golem, who's really bad in constructed, is actually not so bad in Arena, and 8/8 for 8 is for Arena is decent stuff. You also see the Devil's Soar in play, and then with this ability, just insane if you can use it. In the best case, you kill the volcanic Lumberer, and then you kill the Ironborg protector from a druid. Okay, so Hogger, Doom of Elvin. This is one of the legendaries we will see. It's 7 mana, 6/6, but it says whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/2 gnoll with taunt. So it's a little bit similar to Hogger. It also summons gnolls, but only when it takes damage. I think it's a good card because most of the time this can only get killed if you deal damage to him. Only way would be you silence it before, or you polymorph, hex it. In these cases, you won't have any advantages, but I think in most of the cases you will get 2/2 gnoll out of it. So you have in total 8/8 stats, 1 taunt with it, and then with the stats your opponent cannot so easily kill it, so he might need to attack you more, and then you get more and more value out of it. So this can become insane, especially if you play mage and you can ping it every turn, like you play use it with Grim Patron. Grim Patron mage is not so good in constructed, but this card here, I don't know if it fits in which decks it would fit. Of course, a little bit slower decks, but the card itself, I think it's a good card, and I really like the conception of the card with that you get a taunt, and the 2/2 taunt is also good because you cannot ping it. So usually your opponent needs to run something inside, and it can really help you to make efficient trades later on. And yeah, due to these reasons, since it's not so easy to remove it immediately, I also think this is a good arena card. Yeah. Okay, so now we come to Cartoon, one of the really interesting cards, because here the conception is completely different, and this one we will all get for free in the beginning. So it's 10 mana and 6/6, which seems to suck a lot, but this is not everything. It has a battle cry, and it says deal damage equal to this minion's attack, randomly split among all enemies. So it's like 2 Arcane Missiles or Avenging Wrath. It's 8 damage, but okay. But it's not everything. So this card, or there are other cards which are supporters of Cartoon, which can increase the attack and the health by Death Rattle, or by an ability which triggers at the end of the turn. And the good thing is that it will always work. Regardless if Cartoon is on the board, if it's in your deck or it's in your hand, it will always get the buff. So if you play off those dudes which support him, you might draw him, and then it's already a 12/12. And when you play it for 10 mana, you deal 12 damage, randomly split among all enemies. And a 12/12 for 10 mana, and with those battle cry where you deal 12 damage immediately. This is huge. This is really huge, and especially if you think about that there might be a big game hunter nerf, so it's not so easy to get rid of him. And so yeah, I think that we will see a lot of decks which are constructed especially around this card, which will include a lot of those supporting minions. And yeah, those decks, I guess, will also try to cycle cards really soon, so you draw into Cartoon really fast, and you also need to survive until turn 10. It has a little bit the feeling of a one-turn kill. It's probably not like this, but it's a little bit similar, like for example, anything can happen where you work the whole way just to make this one card super strong. And it's the same a little bit with Cartoon. And yeah, this is a completely different approach, and I'm really curious how this will be. For sure we will see in the beginning a lot of decks who will try Cartoon decks. Yeah, I'm not so sure about Arena. They said that they won't that Arena won't contain the Cartoon related minions, but I'm not so sure if it also means that Cartoon is not in there, because actually for itself it can still work. I don't think it's a really good minion for 10 mana, 6/6, and the battle cry. The good thing is you have a combination, like if you think 2 Arcane Missiles is worth 2 mana, and then you have a 6/6 minion which is worth yeah, 5.5, so in total is 7.5. But you need to consider that this is actually 3 cards you need to spend on that. Avenging Wrath deals 6 damage, 8, and it so it's less than 3 Arcane Missiles, but it costs twice as much. So if you just have Cartoon alone, in case he's available, it's not one of the strongest minion. but it's not completely garbage. I think it's okay. So let's come to one of the supporters. I just mentioned already that Cartoon can be buffed by supporters anytime, any place. And yeah, here's one minion, Beckoneer of Evil. It's a 2-mana with 2 attack, 3 health. This is completely normal stats for 2 mana. Yeah, usually you those 2 attack, 3 mana, 2 attack, 3 health guys have a certain ability, which, yeah, where the effect is working when this guy is on the board. You don't have this at the moment you play it. It's just a vanilla card, but you will have the effect later, and making it more expensive is wouldn't be okay at all. So I think this stats are the best it can get for this battle cry, and this battle cry is necessary, or it's really good when you have Cartoon. And if you make Cartoon deck, I think Beckoner of Evil is one of the cards you definitely want to include, especially since with a 2-mana drop with this all set you cannot do so much wrong. And the next one is Twilight Elder. He gives Cartoon a buff also at the end of your turn. So it's 3 mana, 3/4 stat. Yeah, it's like a spider tank. This is really good stats for a 3 mana minion. Actually, everything you can ask for. And yeah, you have the oh yeah, since when you played only, yeah, if it's summoned by a Dazzler, for example, your opponent have the chance to kill the Twilight Elder, but usually you play it and then you get at least once the buff. So yeah, stat-wise, you cannot complain. You get the buff at least once. So also in a Cartoon deck, I think this will be a really strong card, which we see quite often. Yeah, and then we have here a class card which interacts with Cartoon. It's just released a few hours ago. Revealed, not released. I'm sorry. And honestly, I'm not so sure if I understand the card right. So let's take a look at the battle cry. It says if your Cartoon has at least 10 attack, gain +5 health. So does it work when you just buff your Cartoon, which is still in your deck, like playing the Beckoneer of Evil twice before, and then you playing this card for as a 4/10? This would be amazing. I don't know. I mean, it's with the 4 mana, 4 attack, 5 health. It has the Yeti stats. You don't see it in play in constructed, but it was for a long time really good before Pilot the Shredder took over his place. The one which gets cycled out in standard. So the stats are really good. And then you have this battle cry where your minion can become a 4/10. So if it's so easy that you just need to buff your Cartoon, which is still in your deck, then this might be a really good card. Might be questionable how fast you can buff your Cartoon to 10 attack. Means you need 4 times the buff. Elder of the Beckoneer of Evil is giving 2 attack. So if you play it twice, you have it already. Yeah, but still, if you play this for 6 mana and you get a 4/10, it's still quite strong, and I think you're not so playing aggressive anyway. You try to maybe keep board control. Yeah, I think then definitely if you run Defender of Argos or so, this is like the Twilight Drake in handlock. Yeah, so it's a really good card, I would say. Okay, so the first 10 cards are discussed. I'm finished, so I hope I did quite good. And yeah, I'm looking forward for the next cards, and when there is a decent amount of new cards revealed, I will discuss it again in a new video. Until then, I will be happy to see some comments, and also share your ideas about your cards if you agree or disagree with me. And then yeah, we will see us in one of my next videos.